All right, so this is going to be a very quick, to the point video of how to use your machine, your pigments, etc., etc. So first things first, I'm going to put some gloves on because it can get messy. You want to have your latex in front of you and your machine charged and ready. Gonna get a pigment cup, some ink that I use for practice. You can use any ink, but typically if you can get an affordable one that you don't use on clients and just for latex skin, it'll be better because it won't hurt the pocket. You don't want to use a $30 or $40 pigment for practicing. Okay, so here's your machine. Let me see if I can get it in frame. There you go. So the way you turn it on and off is by holding down the button firmly. That's on. You're gonna click it one more time and you can hear it working. You're gonna hold it to make the volts go up or make them go down. Hold on, there you go. For practice, we're gonna leave it on a 4. And you're gonna always use it between a 4 to a 6 on a client and while you practice. So I just did it, but let me demo it again. This is your cartridge. What you're gonna see, there are ridges here. You're gonna line it up with the machine and then twist until it doesn't twist anymore. When you turn it on, you're gonna see the needle going up and down. I don't know if I can get it on video, but you want it to be as short as can be. So not this way, but the other way. So there are 3 movements that I want you to practice with a 1RL, which means 1 round liner. It's a single needle in this cartridge. And that is pendulum and whipping. So first things first. Let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. There are 2 forms of whipping. You want to do one form towards you and the other one away from you. And then pendulum is going to be back and forth like so. You want to make sure you're holding the pen vertically, very straight. It may look a little angled on the video, but imagine there's a string attached to this machine and it was dangling straight. You want it like that. And the way you're going to position yourself is also having your elbow straight and parallel with your arm and your wrist. You're going to hold it a lot lower than most people think, having your fingers on the cartridge. You're gonna have your index finger in the front, your middle finger in the back. Your thumb is gonna be supporting with this little groove. These fingers are free and they're going to be used for balance and to help you keep your machine upright. You're gonna use it like so. If you flare out your arms, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. You also don't wanna move from your wrist. You're only moving these 2 fingers going forward or back, forward or back. Please don't hold your machine tight. It's gonna cause unnecessary tension. You want a very relaxed hold and just moving these fingers back and forth. All right, so latex. I'm gonna be working on this triangle right here, and I'm gonna be working towards me. I'm gonna start right here at this point. When you practice, give a very light touch. You're in control, but it's a very, very gentle tickle or scratch. I like to tell my students to pretend like there's a little itch that this latex has, and you just want to give it a little scratch. All right. So little short strokes, and then when you feel comfortable, you can make them a little bit longer. Once you get a momentum going, have a little count on your mind. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the way that I'm moving from here to here is that I am moving my whole body with the machine. I am not staying here and then tilting it. So when I work here, and feel free to move the latex if it's easier. I'm gonna work here. And then as I'm getting here, I'm shifting my body to come over this way. Or you can move the latex so you're more comfortable. Sometimes the latex vibrates, so place your other hand on it to help it not move so much. We're almost there. Kind of giving it that ombre look. Now I'm just gonna pepper it a little all over. Shorter strokes. And there you go. So that's one way I want you guys to practice. All right. Another way is just the opposite direction. Starting at this point and moving forward. You feel tension, remember to relax your grip, your shoulders. Don't hunch your body over. Bend at the hips. Our body has a lot to do with our work. If you're not comfortable, it will show in your pixels. It will show in your art. Trust me, you want to be comfortable. Now I'm kind of being a little looser. Sorry, a little looser. Not being as concentrated. And just letting the dots fill up the space, but without it being so dense. Let your artistic side come in and blend a little more and have fun. All right, so the other way to practice. Another one is using these rectangles. When it comes to the eyebrows, we want to be very careful of what are called tiger stripes. Tiger stripes are when you overlap some of your work and you have the result of these marks rather than it blending seamlessly. So one way that happens is kind of keeping a tighter movement, which I'll show you now. Then you stop and you start over here, right? Okay, I'm gonna start over here then instead. No, that doesn't work either. And then guess what? You get frustrated and you're like, why is my work looking like this? You want to keep the strokes a little bit further out rather than concentrated and rubbing back and forth. That's a technique that we will use more so for the outline. But for shading, you want to have a very loose flowing kind of concept. All right, so I'm going to do pendulum because I already showed you whipping. Pendulum is back and forth. The needle touches the skin or the latex at that midway point. And I want you to practice it in a very exaggerated way first. Don't worry about the pixels looking funny, but it's just to get the idea. Until you're like, okay, I think I understand. And speed it up a little bit more. Let it be loose. Okay? So I'm going to speed up my machine just because that's what I'm used to doing. My movements are a little faster and for the sake of the video. So I'm going to fill up this rectangle right here. Once I stop here, I'm going to go back. Gonna go back again, but move a little bit higher, shifting. This is how you avoid making blocks. All right, I hope that makes sense. You're gonna start here, finish at this point, come back and go a little higher. Go back a little higher. Go back a little higher. You're not going to go and stop, go and stop. It's a continuous blend until you reach the end point. Same concept with whipping. You're gonna start in one end. Once I reach, once I reach over here, going backwards. Going a little higher, so shifting the other way. Going a little higher. And so on and so forth.